Do we have to officially give this like some sort of a title or something?
I was just gonna title the header, but we should might have a recording icon on, so we are good to go.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right, sounds great. Okay, so did you guys get a chance to? Well, I know that you had sent me some of your ideas last night, Karina, and I think I sent you my two of what I was looking at. Wayne, did you get a chance to look over some of the topics and get an idea?
Yeah, I gave all 5 of them a rather thorough reading. I definitely have my favorite, and I definitely have some others that I don't like as much. But I gave them all the once over.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. So I tell you what, since Karina, since you sent yours first, you want to kind of start with your two?
Okay. So the ones I had picked out were the elaboration likelihood model and the narrative one. So just my personal style of storytelling, I always use personal examples and all of my things when I talk to clients or during the recordings we did for this class. I used scenarios that pertain to my personal life. So
Okay.
I usually do narratives a lot because, storytelling is a big thing for a lot of people, and I feel like people connect a lot with it. So that's one of my favorite ones. And the elaboration likelihood model, I use that one at work too. It's basically like you have the people that will buy a smart car because, for whatever reason, they'll last longer, better gas mileage. So they look at like details for some people, and then they have like the other people for the model that'll they just want it like fast, good, but cheap. So it's just how to conduct and sell things, kind of like a commercial ad almost, and it tells you how to appeal to people in different formats like that.
Okay, so it's almost kind of like a sales pitch, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I did read up on that one a little bit last night, but I was a little kind of confused as to exactly where they were going with it. So,
yeah, they divide the model into 2 different ones, the peripheral and then the central. Like I said, the central is the one that does all the detail work, so they're willing to put out more for a better product, while the other people are more focused on smaller things that they want everything but at a reasonable cost, almost was the example they gave that came up the most often. So like I said, more like a commercial sales pitch kind of deal, like you said.
Okay. All right. Did you find anything else? Any of those other theories?
I checked out the one that you brought up, the dialogic theory, that you sent me as well, and that did catch my interest as well, but I would have to stick, I think I like the other 2 a bit more, because the ethical communication, honest communication part really did pique my interest, since that's one of the ones they recommended as far on how to speak, to do public speaking.
Okay.
So I did enjoy reading about that one a little bit, and I can definitely see an appeal to that one.
Okay. I think it was the Burke's Pentad. Was that the one with the kind of like the diagram where it was like a pentagram almost?
Designed in like a pentagram? Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a pentagram or something to that effect.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I didn't really like that one, honestly. I mean, I didn't look deep enough into it, but I don't know. It just seemed a little confusing, and the approach, so to speak. But I think probably out of all of them, that one was the one that I wasn't too sure about, mostly.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't take it too seriously because it reminded me more of like a character stat chart.
Right.
So
I couldn't like setting up like D&D or something.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. It has like that kind of grade school kind of feel to it too. It's kind of like when they made you do those thought webs before writing your 1-page paper.
Yeah,
Right.
So I feel like that distracted me too much from actually taking it seriously. Yeah.
Kind of like I think like when you're in grade school and they're telling you to basically brainstorm, and you're kind of like,
Right.
grouping different ideas, and you put them in different little spots, and then try to basically form a connection between all of those. So I get it, but I don't know, that to me, just that's not how I think
No,
through things.
I have to agree on that, because I remember as a child I did not like those, and I never finished them for class ever.
Yeah.
So
I
Right,
remember
okay.
I remember when I had to do them, I would do them after the paper, which was counterintuitive, but I just got nothing from doing them.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I'd glaze over them and I'd do the work, and then I would make it look like I got there using that.
Okay. All
So
right.
I definitely didn't like it. It reminded me too much of like third grade. And it's not the test's fault, it just is what it is.
So is it safe to say we're all on the same page that one is definitely off the table?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
I would say so, yeah. 100%.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. All right, Wayne, you want to kind of give you said that you had some favorites and also some that you didn't necessarily.
My number one was definitely ELM, as she mentioned, because I thought it put a fair amount of emphasis on analyzing how your audience receives your message. And I think that's very important. Like, hey, you're presenting something that maybe is a little complex and requires a lot of background information. How do you relay that to prevent turning them off before you even get to your critical points? And how to counteract that and get them to listen to you more instead of viewing things on a purely surface level. I didn't really get that from any of the other ones. I did get that a little bit from the dialogic. You know the one you like. I got that same kind of vibe from that one, but I felt more of it in ELM.
Okay.
That was just me, though.
Okay. Okay. Did you have any other favorites at all?
I like the narrative one. I would say my problem with the narrative one is I came from a biology background, and so things that I would write papers on, I would have a hard time formulating a way to tell them in a compelling story fashion. I'm a very empirical person, and so while I like the idea of the narrative one, it's not one that I could personally go out and execute, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. And so which ones did you not like the most?
I didn't like the Burke one that we've previously talked about. It felt a little juvenile. It felt more like outlining points than going about modeling the actual conveyance of those points. It felt more like something you would do as an exercise to prep versus actually deliver, which I didn't like. That was definitely my least favorite. As for the other one, I did not like. I didn't like the attribution one all that much, namely because I thought it, at least in how it read, it was based on more behavioral stuff. It just came off to me as sort of like the best points of it were a watered down version of ELM. And so I felt ELM provided the same benefits as that with extra.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think we're kind of on the same page as far as that. Definitely for myself, the first one, the Burke's Pentat, that to me just, I don't know. When I left that behind in grade school, I left it behind. And I've never, ever used that ever, I don't think, in my adult life at all. As far as, how to be able to deliver, any sort of a essay or anything. And the attribution theory, I kind of felt the same way. It's like kind of more social behaviors. And to me, that's a little too fickle.
Yeah.
To kind of, base something on. Personally, that's just how I feel. But I did like the Walter Fisher's narrative paradigm. Um, I've it's never necessarily been my approach, but I guess it has been my approach because all throughout, anything that I've ever had to do for any of my English classes or any of that, um, apparently that's the style that I write in a lot. Because all of my English teachers have told me the same thing, that I should be a story writer, that I actually, I give very vivid details of things, and I'm apparently can convey a story, pretty well. So I guess storytelling is a niche, so to speak, for me. Um, so I can see that, in being able to do that a lot. And then, as I mentioned last night, the dialogic theory for me, I don't know. I'm a conversationalist. I love to talk. I don't like uncomfortable silences when I'm talking with people. So, you know, I love the kind of the back and forth and the interaction. And the same is like when, if I am giving if I'm standing up and speaking in front of a group of people, typically I will try to make them engage me, which that's what I got out of the whole dialogic theory. It's not just a monologue where you're just kind of standing there giving instructions, so to speak. It's you're engaging. It's kind of like a call and response, type thing, where they're giving you feedback and not just body language feedback, but kind of, coming back with either questions or, you know, other types of verbal responses. So it's more of a dialogue, so to speak. So I can relate to that. And I think that that's what good storytelling is about, you know. Also, if you're telling a good story and you can really engage, your audience, that they should kind of come back and, add to the story. It kind of incorporates them and weaves them into the story in a way. So that's why I was saying last night, to me personally, I felt that those two kind of fit very well, together. Um, so, that's where I stand with those two, and so on. So I guess we're kind of in an interesting position. We got the narrative. Two of us like narrative. Two of us like ELM. You know, um, and so I guess those seem to be the two most prominent ones that seem to be kind of popping out, that we all are making connections on, so to speak.
Right.
So I guess maybe look into them deeper and feel, I guess, discuss where we need to, which one would be the best. Because I don't fully understand what we're supposed to be doing with this. I know it's supposed to be building each week. So I guess we're going to start off with, this is going to be the basis by which we do our final video.
As far as I understand it, this is just kind of like the discovery period where we go over what we think we want to do, and then that parlays into us gathering like journal, scholarly articles, things like that, that can then be used in our favor with that model to make our project. So this is just really like, hey, what model do you want to do this with? And then it's scour for papers for the next one. That's how it read to me, at least.
Yeah, I have to agree with him. I just went back to read it again real quick, and it sounds pretty much it. It's just mostly like discussing which one we'd like to use the best, but not necessarily we have to pick one now.
Okay. I wonder if it's a case where we could blend styles. Is that possible? I know, I got to complicate things.
Well, I think there could be some merit to that. I mean, if the interest level is equal in a couple of them, something like ease of access or volume of material is a genuine factor that we should consider, because if you're going to make or break it on semantic stuff, might as well make it or break it on the stuff that makes your job easier in the long run. You know what I mean?
Right. So, okay. But don't we, I thought from what I read that we do have to choose one tonight as far, because didn't it say that we had to also write like a paragraph or so to
I
accompany the
didn't see
video?
anything about a paragraph.
If you look into like at the
Let me
very
pull,
end,
I know what he's talking about. Let me pull that up. I know what he's talking about.
yeah, she said
He's
somewhere
right.
at the
Oh,
very end.
yes,
So
right here. Okay, never mind. I see it. It's like the very bottom after the recording YouTube link. Your group needs to post a
yeah,
2 to 3 paragraph summary about how your group reached an agreement.
Right.
And to be clear, each group
all
member
right.
is
Well,
allowed to
thanks
submit.
for coming. And so I'm guessing this would go in the group tab with the video file. And here's all the
Right.
work we did.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I mean, ALM is my personal favorite, but I'm amicable on this. If you want to do something narrative based and you think that would make for a more compelling thing and maybe even a more entertaining project in the long run, I'm fine with going with that and running with it. Really, I'm negotiable on this.
Okay. Because
Okay.
my
So
top 3 were the narrative, the EML, and the dialogic one. Were like my top 3 in that order.
Okay. So I know, Wayne, that you said that, the narrative portion necessarily isn't one of your strong points, but I mean,
well,
do
uh,
you really feel
it,
do you
I
genuinely feel comfortable with moving forward with that particular option if we went that route?
don't know if I'd say it's not my strong suit. I would say I've been in a position where I just haven't had to use it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think it could be a good experience to put myself in a spot where I have to adapt and add that to my toolkit and take that going forward. I've just never had to use it before. I write a lot of really empirical papers that make you want to, go to bed. I write the equivalent of NyQuil, man. It could be good.
Okay.
So you're open to the experience of trying a narrative one.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, live and learn, right?
True.
True. Absolutely. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So,
Amen.
all right. So, all right. So, like I said, I think the two main ones that we just kind of have to decide on is the paradigm, narrative paradigm, and the ELM, because those two seem to be the two primary ones that all three of us have some level of a connection to. So,
Mm-hmm.
Karina, in your personal opinion, out of those two, which are you leaning the most to?
That's a tough decision because I use both. Like I said, academically, I'll probably use a narrative one more often, and that's the style I generally use. Everyday life, the EML model is definitely one I tend to use more often than narrative. So I'm pretty comfortable with both. So I'm really fine either way, honestly, because you guys have narrowed it down to my top two. They're kind of equal for me.
Okay.
I'm cool. I'm cool with basically letting you be the final vote, Eric. I'm cool with both, really. I'm comfortable with ELM, but I'm open to the idea of doing narrative and expanding what I do.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, in all honesty, I do have somewhat of a sales background myself. So I have used, if that's what that ELM really kind of focuses on, sales pitches, So I've definitely used it before. Truth be told, though, it's not necessarily one of my favorite things to do, even though, I have been very successful in the past in sales pitches. But it's just personally, I don't know. It's not something that I actually enjoy doing. Whereas kind of storytelling in a way is something that I do like enjoy doing. So
Mhm.
me personally, I'm leaning more towards narrative if we had to choose between those two. So
Okay.
Sounds fine to me. I'm okay doing narrative.
narrative, okay, okay,
Let's roll with it.
all right. Let's roll with a narrative. And has anyone looked into the library yet to see what kind of scholarly articles that we can find on those?
I have
Well,
not had a chance to look into there yet.
I think I
Well,
saw something.
I'll throw this out there.
Uh huh.
I'll throw this out there for future reference. I'm actually enrolled at 2 community colleges. My associate's degree is at J. Sargent Reynolds, but I'm currently, of course, I live in Fredericksburg. I'm enrolled at Germanna up here to get my certification in cybersecurity, so I can go work in IT. That's my thing. So
Wow.
I have access to two school libraries if you guys need extra stuff. I have access to multiple databases.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's awesome.
you say the word and I can go dive in.
All right, sounds good then. I'll probably check out the databases that the library has tomorrow because I'll be there and I'll ask the librarian if I need any help with that. But I'm pretty sure this shouldn't be too hard.
You know that we can also access those articles through through Canvas and all of that, right?
Yeah, my problem is I'm terrible at searching for them, so I end up asking the librarian to help me anyways.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're rough when you first start using them for sure.
Yeah, I've actually gone in. I think it's what is it called, the SIS or something. I can't remember how I got
Student
into it.
system,
But,
yeah.
yeah, I've looked into it for some other classes and things like that, and I was able to find stuff on there, but I haven't specifically looked for any of these types of topics on it. But if you have you guys Googled Walter Fisher's narrative paradigm? Have you done a Google
Yes.
search for it?
Yeah, I have.
Did you notice that? I don't know how it came up on yours because I know sometimes Google looks different depending on, I guess, your search,
Yeah.
methods. But literally, when I do that, do a search on mine, the very first thing that pops up at the top, it literally says scholarly articles for Walter Fisher's narrative paradigm. It's one of the options that you could see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I got too. Google Scholar is a blessing.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
and then when you do it, when you click on that, it kind of narrows the search down, and there are tons of stuff that pop up on it, PDFs and all sorts of stuff. So I'll kind of start sifting through some of this stuff tonight because I think if I read in the instructions correctly, we're supposed to use a little bit of both. Google searches as well as the library also. So
Right.
all right. So Karina, you want to go ahead and try and see what you can find in the physical library tomorrow?
Yeah,
And then-
yeah, and I'll link everything to you guys. I'll send it either through Canvas or I'll send you a quick text to go look on Canvas whenever I post that on there.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And
yeah, I'm off work tomorrow, so I'll poke through their digital database. I'll poke through Germanna's. If I find any decent PDFs or whatever, I'll email them, assuming the file size decides to agree with me and allow me to do it. If not, I can always give you titles and you can find them in there. I'll see what I can find because I'm off tomorrow. So
Okay,
I've got
cool.
plenty of time to play with.
So what is going to be the where are we going to post? Are we posting in Canvas, or are we going to post in text, or what's going to be our method by which we basically are sharing this type of stuff?
I'm most comfortable with my phone. Sometimes I wind up away from a computer for an extended amount of time, but I always have my phone. If I send anything via email or Canvas, I will explicitly tell you that via text. Like, hey, go. I sent you this, just so you know. I prefer mobile personally.
Okay. All right. What about you, Karina?
I have the Canvas app on my phone, so I get most of y'all's messages, and same thing, email alerts are connected on my phone for all my email accounts, so I'll get everything as soon as you guys send them to me. So for me, I think it's fine, but I think it might be easier to do it through email so you can attach things to the email easier than like sending them via
Right.
text. And I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and make like a joint Google Doc or anything so you guys can write down, because multiple people can write down, and then we'll have a color-coded like flag to who posted what when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I do Google Docs like all day. As a matter of fact, that's what I've been kind of reading off of, is a Google Doc that I've created. So I'm a Google Doc person all day long, and I think there is an option in there where you can allow others to be able to share, add to it, and so on. So yeah, that's cool. You know, do you know how to set that up? I've never set up the group. Okay. So if you want to do that, and then I guess send a text to us so we can all link to it, and you know, but yeah, that probably the Google Doc, in my opinion, would be the most efficient.
Yeah, because I like the comment.
I agree.
Have a comment section so you can like comment like each paragraph part or something if you guys have an input on something or want to change anything.
Right. And you can share links.
Yeah.
I think attach PDFs and all that kind of stuff in there, you know, as well. And it's something
I think
that
that's,
we can all
that's
be able to modify if necessary, you know, add our own little, you know, pieces to it, and, you know, so on.
Yeah, because it'll give you the option to share like entire file folders, so you guys can add like the PDFs directly on there, so we don't have to like insert them like images onto a Google Doc. So allow you guys to upload the PDFs on there, sounds, videos, all that stuff.
And then in the final portions, I'm quite sure there's going to be some sort of written portion to it as well. And Google Docs is like the easiest thing to do, because now you're just kind of copying, you know, groups of information and putting it into a final paper, you know, type deal.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. As opposed to.
And it'll also give us an easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And it'll also give us a really easy way if we like set up a file repository for like PDFs and stuff. It'll create a really simple way for us to have like a running references list, works cited page, whatever you want to call it, so that we always know where our stuff is coming from, and we don't have to do all that back work. It's already done ahead of time, and it's just throw it in.
Right. Yeah, it'll be the cleanest way to do things.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So, okay. All right, so we'll use Google Docs as the formal communication and attaching information, you know, concerning the project. We're going to be working with the Walter narrative paradigm as our theory model. And has anybody looked into next week? I think that's probably something that we need to get down, our schedules, and when should we try and get stuff together.
Agreed.
So the let's see, what did they want us to do for step C? So step 3 is what we start going over, the scholarly articles we found. It's due, I believe it said next Saturday. It's due. It says November 23rd, so in 10 days. Honestly, in terms of time, if you guys are fine with this again, I think this is ideal.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I don't know.
You talking about Zoom?
Yeah. Yeah, for like when we have to actually do the physical meeting part.
Oh yeah. I think that this is definitely probably the most efficient. It's funny, okay, because she put a link in there that says review step number 3, and I just clicked on it. It says access denied.
Yeah, so for next week, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to share scholarly stuff we found, and we're supposed to go over what we think we can use and what we can't. And she wants us to submit by next Saturday at noon a references page of what we're going to use in APA form. So like alphabetized, all that good stuff.
Where did you see all of that in there?
It's under week 5. It's on the group project step 3.
Oh, it's under groups?
Yeah, like if you go to the group ones, it'll tell you like the steps. It has them out of order, but they're all there.
Okay.
It's like she lists like 5 phases that she wants us to do. Like phase 1 is the whole on your own find multiple peer review articles related to groups chosen theory. Must use Reynolds library databases.
Gotcha. Okay.
More instructions.
So what I'll do
I
is
see them now.
Before I send you anything, since she specifically wants Reynolds database stuff, I'll mention to her that I'm also enrolled in Germana before I go poking. I'll okay it with her. If she's cool with it, then I'm double fisting. If not, I only have one, but that's still plenty.
Okay.
But I'll check with
just
her
pulled it up.
preemptively.
Okay.
And next Saturday. So yeah, next week we get we decide on 6 papers we want to use, and then we make a works cited page with them.
And that has to be is that the one that's due by the 23rd?
Yeah, that's next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday at noon.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, because I think we have like this Saturday, we got like 2 quizzes that are due. So I'm gonna try and see if I can knock those out tomorrow. For myself, also 2 Saturdays are a little tough because afternoons from about 1:30, 2 o'clock on, we don't go to church on Sundays. We go to church on Saturdays, and it's usually Saturday afternoons. So pretty much Saturday afternoons are like really out of the question for me. That's why I try to get my quizzes done by Thursday or Friday, because going into Saturday, it's hectic.
Right. Well, I'll field this one then. After we decide the 6 papers we want to use in our meeting next Wednesday night, I'm really well versed with APA because I was a STEM major. That's what they make you use. Once we've decided on all 6, if I get like copies of them sent to me, I'll compile that. I'll post it Thursday. It'll be done, and then all you guys have to do is say I agree with it, and then it's done. And we don't worry about it going in. I'm cool with doing that one.
That sounds fine to me because I was going to say the same thing. Saturdays are a little tough for me. Usually I work pretty much until 6 o'clock from morning till 6. So I'm like, that usually doesn't fare well. So I usually do all the other stuff during the week for me anyways.
I traditionally work Monday, Wednesday. Tuesday, I have class basically all day and through night. Like my last class ends at 10. But Thursdays, I have no work and no class. So as long as like by the end of our talk next week, I have all of the stuff physically, I'll draw it up that Thursday and I'll just have it done. And I'll text you guys and just be like, so that you can just rubber stamp it. And then we don't have to worry about it.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. So what would be the best time for you guys to meet between now and when we have that project due?
Let me double check real quick. Like I said before, for me, Tuesdays and Thursdays, anytime after 12 is perfectly fine. Or I'm even willing to do like the 5 a.m. thing, even if I don't really want to get up at 5 in the morning. I can totally do that.
Karina, you causing problems.
I'm being honest here. I'm trying to help.
I'm honest. You know, truth be told, I have a young son, and he does not sleep. So he's like up all night. And somewhere between the hours of like 4 and maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock, he's usually up anyway. So he's waking me up. So It's not a time that I want to get up out of bed, but if necessary, I'm fine with that too. But
So
I would
we're
prefer
picking
if we kind of schedule it at a reasonable time in the afternoons or evenings.
So we're picking our next. So we're picking our next time to do this. What
Right.
we're doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Tuesday would be great for me. My Tuesdays are wide open until about 7 o'clock. I can make it work.
Okay.
Thursdays, I'm also pretty much wide open. I'd prefer about a 3-hour gap between my IT class and my comp class that goes from about 3 to 6 on Tuesdays. I prefer in that window, if that's possible. If not Thursday, I'm free all day. I can make any time on Thursday.
So wait a minute, what's your schedule on Tuesday? You're saying?
Tuesday, I have class basically all day except for about 3 hours. Thursday, my schedule's whatever I want it to be.
Okay. All right. So basically, you got a 3-hour window
on call
on
all day
Tuesdays.
Yeah. And
okay.
Considering she doesn't want these to go longer than an hour, that's gravy.
Okay. All right. And so where are you, Karina, with Tuesdays or Thursdays?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, like I said earlier, I'm free at any time after 12. If you guys want a reasonable hour anyways. As for the rest of the days, for that week, my best time is, again, 9 o'clock like it was today. But if you guys, like I said, if you want to get up at 5, we can do that too. But I prefer not to, like you said.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I'm a bit of a night owl, so if you made me choose the extreme hours, I'd rather late than early. But I can bend pretty well to your guys' schedules, so especially with.
I think the night owl thing, I honestly understand.
Yeah.
All right.
So
with that being said,
you were saying something?
Yeah. With that being said, Thursday honestly sounds like probably a better time, especially with given both of your schedules and so on. I'm usually free anytime after like 7 o'clock in the evenings, just about any day of the week, except for Saturdays.
Okay.
Saturdays, like I said, I usually don't even come back from assembly until like 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe 11, in the evening. I mean, we go for hours and stuff like that. So Saturday from about 1:30, 2 o'clock on is no good for me at all. Sundays, I'm pretty much free all day, but I don't know if that really is a feasible day for you guys to work. So Thursdays in the evening, like I said, anytime after 7, I'm fine. And if Karina, if you're good after 12, and Wayne, you said you're good pretty much all day on Thursday?
I'm good all day Thursday. Whatever time works for y'all, I can make work.
Okay. So maybe Thursday would be a good time, but the question is this. Are we going to how are we going to write out these 6 topics and so on that we have to put together into this paper? Are we going to each kind of just write something and then post it and then talk about it on Thursday, or how did y'all want to do that?
I think it was said.
Well, we're gonna have to.
Go ahead.
So if we can think of a way to just create a place where we can drop papers we find, then we can go over them. That all of us can access. We can go over them one at a time, and then pick our top 6. That might be the easiest way to do it. So if we create a shared folder through Google Drive, and just drop in a PDF. I think that's probably the best way to do that. And then, she runs the desktop version of Zoom, so it's very easy for her to have those up. I'm doing this in front of my computer right now. I can have them up, and then we can pick our 6. I'll note which 6 they are. I'll move them somewhere else, and then I'll make the references page when we finish the telecon.
Okay, so basically, we kind of work on the shared document drive all throughout the rest of this week.
Mhm.
And then come
Yep.
Thursday, we're just going to kind of discuss face to face via Zoom and so on, how to finalize it. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically just here's what I found. Here's the papers. Here's the articles I think will best help us compose this paper. And then
Okay.
we, out of our collective effort, we pick 6.
Okay. All right.
We go which
And
6 do we
then
think have the biggest
is
asset?
Thursday, because if it has to be due by Saturday, then that leaves basically Friday and Saturday morning before what,
Yeah.
10 or 11. Is that enough time for you to
Yeah,
put everything together in that APA?
Yeah, all she wants is a references page. So what I would do is the writing center is walk in at Germana. I'll take them all there. I'll get some advice on APA citations. I'll draw it up Friday. I'll post it Friday because I'm not going to do it at 1 a.m. on Thursday, no matter if I'm awake or not. And once it's posted, I have both your phone numbers, so I'll text you both. I'll be like, hey, it's up. Look at it. And then she said that she wants the other group members to basically just reply to it with I approve so that she knows that you saw it. So
Okay.
you both would just do that, and then it's turned in. But I'm fine with making the thing. That's no problem.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Well, I think we got definitely a working plan. How do you guys feel about it?
I feel good.
I feel good about it. I think we got a lot accomplished. I think we have a good plan for next week. And I think that's all you can really ask this early in the game. So I think we're in a good place.
What time? What time next Thursday? Did you guys want to shoot for? Like I said, anytime after 7. I'm usually home between 7 and 7:30 at the latest. But I can definitely push it to get here by 7 if necessary.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's no real reason for us to push it. Would 8:30 be fine?
I'm fine.
There's no reason for us to rush you. All right, 8:30.
Okay. All right. So 8:30 on what is that? The 21st.
The 21st. Yep.
Yep.
Put that
Okay.
post-it note up here.
All right. Sounds good. And what about the written portion for tonight? How did you guys want to play that?
Yeah. Does anyone in particular want to field that? I think it's 2 paragraphs.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what, only 2-3 paragraphs or so. I tell you what, I mean, I can write it out if you guys want. I don't have a problem with it, Or we can each take a paragraph and just give our own synopsis of the meeting and how we, came to our conclusions and that kind of thing. And then share it in that drive.
So it says here that alongside recording or YouTube link to your recording, post about how your group reached an agreement. To be clear, each group member does not need to submit. As a group, provide a single overview, blah, blah, blah. The summary, one group member will post the summary. So I don't think we need to share it. I think it's just compile it, drop it in the groups tab. And
then comment, I approve after you drop
it.
Okay. So in the group tab, we're talking about off on the left-hand side?
So right underneath where it says, yeah, I think she wants whoever writes it to basically use the reply function underneath step 2 as the assignment.
Okay, under step 2.
Kind of like we did when we posted the intro videos.
Right, okay. All right, so fair enough. Karina, you recorded this and you're kind of working on, getting the video saved and uploaded to YouTube for us, right? So you got enough on your plate right there. Wayne, you've already said that you would do next week with the APA style. So if you guys want,
Yes,
I can
sir.
go ahead and write up this paragraph tonight, and then I can go
Sounds
ahead
good.
and post that. And I don't know if I should wait until you post the video first and then post it.
Probably.
I would actually recommend posting the thing first, because this video, just by virtue of the fact that it's long, it's going to be the file's going to be kind of big, and
Oh, that
so
is
I don't know how long it's going to take YouTube to render it necessarily, because this is probably going to be a couple hundred megabytes.
That is
So
true, because we went a lot
I
longer
would
than I
suggest
thought.
you post the summary first,
Okay.
because it could be a couple hours before the video is ready to go.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a couple hours. The
Yeah,
videos that
so I
I
think that's the
post,
better.
like when we
Yeah.
do the other postings, the other speeches that we've done, the only one that was like got up within like an hour was the short one that we just did for the introduction. That was only like a minute or so long. The rest of my videos have
Right.
been rather lengthy because I talk so much, and so like an 8 to 10 minute video literally takes like 2.5, almost 3 hours for them to render it and get it ready to view on YouTube. That's just been my experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in other words, you may have to start this tonight so that it's
Yeah, that's
ready.
the plan. Yeah.
All right, ready by
Yeah.
tomorrow morning, because it may take all night, honestly. A 30, 40-minute video, yeah, it's a good chance that it could take.
I wouldn't be shocked if it takes all night. Not one bit.
Yeah, I'm not either. We did go. We actually went a lot farther than what we planned originally. So
True.
yeah,
True. So,
Oh, well,
all
that's a
right,
good problem to have.
yeah, not the worst problem, definitely.
all right, cool. So this is due by noon tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so
Yes,
I'll
sir.
go ahead and work on the 3 paragraphs tonight. I think I can kind of remember everything as far as like, basically what we talked about and so on. If I get like brain fog or anything like that, I may reach out to you guys. You don't necessarily have to respond tonight, but if you can respond like first thing in the morning, so when I get up, if I have to finish off the 3 paragraphs, hey, did I forget da 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 da, or something like that. If you could just be like, oh yeah, well remember this or something to that effect, I think, like I said, I think I got it, but just in case, I may reach out and send you a text, and you might see tomorrow morning, oh, hey, just let me know first thing in the morning if that's the case, and so I can get it up by, say, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'll be up
You got it.
for a while longer, so that's totally fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be up till like 1 o'clock, so you got time.
You're better than me. All right, sounds great. Okay, so anything else?
I think we covered our bases.
I think we're good.
Okay. All right,
I don't-
sounds great.
Yeah, we checked all the boxes.
Who wants to go ahead and set up the Google Drive thing? Because I don't mind doing that while I'm waiting for this to buffer. Or if you want to go ahead and do it, Wayne, we can totally do that way too.
I think it'd be better if you set it up, because I've got like 3 or 4 Google accounts tied to this computer, and my dumbass picked the wrong one. So I'm gonna trust you on that.
All right, fair enough. Okay.
All right, so you're just gonna text us the link to it?
I'll either text you guys or send it to you guys through Canvas, whichever one is easier to do. But I'll send you a text saying I send it to Canvas if that's the case.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, email it, because then the permission would be easier for us, and then like
Yeah, that's
once we
what
click on it,
yeah,
it'll
It'd
automatically
be easier
assign
to
the
get
account.
that way.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
probably.
All right, sounds great.
Awesome.
Hope you guys have a great night,
Fantastic.
All right.
and I'll check you guys out tomorrow. And you got the number, so if you have any questions or just something that you need to scream or yell at me about, give me a text.
All right. Sounds good. Well, you guys have a good night.
All right, sounds good.
You too.